Hi all, today we are going to discuss calculated fields. So basically calculated fields are nothing but they are the new fields created in our Tableau workbook using the data source fields. So we have got a number of fields in our data source which we have imported into our Tableau workbook, and if using those existing data source fields, if we are creating some new fields in our Tableau workbook, then those fields are known as calculated fields, and the values of this new fields are determined by the calculation we'll perform. So just to give you a theoretical view, uh, these calculated fields, they help us to create new data from the already existing data in our data source. Means the data source which we have imported, using the fields of that existing data source, we will be creating new fields, and they are known as calculated fields, and the values of these fields are determined by the calculation which we'll perform on the existing fields of the data source. Just to give you an example, supposedly in your data source you have got two fields A and B, and you want to find out a field C which is nothing but the product of these fields A and B, then you will create a new field, products field C, which will be nothing but the product of fields A and B. So you will perform a calculation in the Tableau workbook, and you'll create a new field which is field C. This new field is known as calculated field. Now for creating these calculated fields, we'll use Visual Query Language, VQL, which is quite similar to SQL but not exactly similar. And in case of Tableau, we use VQL to create calculated fields. This is how it looks. Okay, somewhat similar to SQL but not exactly similar. And in Tableau, we'll be predominantly using VQL to write calculations or to create calculated fields or even parameters. So without much ado, let's move to our Tableau workbook to see to see how to create calculated fields. So this is my calculated fields tab. You can see over here in my data set of sample superstore data set, I had these two fields of the profit generated by each subcategory of product and the sale price of each subcategory of the product. And using these two, I have calculated the cost price of each subcategory of product. So basically, I did nothing. I just subtracted the profit from the sales to get the cost of the each subcategory of product. So this thing which I have created over here, this field cost, this is nothing but this is a calculated field which I have obtained by calculating the difference between sales and profit. So when I did sales minus profit, I got the field cost. This is nothing but a calculated field. Now we'll see how to create a calculated field. So for that, first let me remove all of this and let me create it from scratch. So I would like to see for the subcategory of the products, I would like to see the sales, which is the selling price. I would like to convert into a table. So this is the total selling price of each subcategory of the product, and then we'll plot it with the profits generated by each of them. So we'll place the profit also over here. So I have got these two columns in my table over here. Let me extend the bits of the table so that it is clearly visible. Okay. So for each of the subcategory of the products, I have the profit, I have the sales. Now I have to find out the cost of each subcategory. But this is not given in our data set. So what we'll do, let me remove the old one. Just a second. Let me remove all the pre-existing ones so that you guys don't get confused. Okay. So just to start from start, it's like we have got these subcategories, and for each subcategory, I have got the sales price and I have also got the profits generated. Now, for calculating the cost price, what is the formula? I think each one of you know. It was the formula for the cost price. So it's basically nothing, but it is the sales price, that is SP minus the profit. This gives me the cost price. So what I'll do is I'll create a calculated field I'll create a field which calculates the difference for me for each subcategory, the difference between sales and profit, and so that I get the cost price for each subcategory of product. So for that, what I'll do is I'll come into measures. I'll right click on any of the field over here. Okay, when I right click, when I click on any of these fields over here, these four are all calculated fields. I'll remove them one by one and recreate for you to understand. Right now, you know that we have got these four pre-existing measures: profit, quantity, sales, and I've got sales, quantity, profit, and I've also got discount. These are my pre-existing measures. So I'll click on any of its drop down, go to create, and go to create calculated field. Now over here, I'll give it a name, say cost. Okay. And this is my pan where I write my VQL queries to write calculations for the creation of a calculated field. So this is quite similar to an SQL interface, but it is much better. Like in Excel, you get a formula for each, like you get attributes, and for numerical calculations, you have some, for number calculations, you have got some formulas like absolute, degrees, exponential. For date fields, you have got some calculations, some predefined functions. For logical field, you have got some predefined functions like and, or, is, if, else. For aggregate functions, for various category of data, you have got different kind of functions which are available by default over here, so you can use any one of them. As of now, we'll just be willing to calculate the cost. So for cost, what we'll do is we'll simply write sales over here. So whenever you write one or two letter, you'll be automatically prompted by this field which is there in our data set, the sales field. I'm going to from the sales field, I'm going to subtract profit. When I write P, I automatically get an option of adding the field. So I'm writing subtract sales from profit, and this will give me the cost. In case I don't write a syntax properly, then over here I get an option. Over here I get a error message which states that what is the mistake I'm doing. Since I'm missing a ending square bracket, so it is showing me that had I not used a proper syntax, it would have given me a proper error. So in this way, this VQL or visualization query language of Tableau is quite intelligent. It tells Tableau users that what is the mistake they are doing while creating a VQL query. So over here, I have created this cost named calculated field where I have tried to find out the difference between the sales and profit fields. This language is nothing but known as VQL. I'll apply it and do OK. Now over here, I have profit, I have sales, and I have got this new calculated field known as cost. When I place this cost over here, or I can place directly it over here. So here is the cost I have got. This cost is nothing but the difference between the sales and profit. So this is the cost price for each subcategory of the product, and this is known as a calculated field. So right now we have understood that how to create a new calculated field. Now we'll see other kinds of calculated fields. So now let's see how to create a calculated field which gives me minimum or maximum value. Over here, let me plot the relationship between sales and supposedly say category of product. I'm creating a table over here. So this is the sales of each of the products over here. Now this is an aggregate value. If I would like to see, this is the total sales for the category across the categories for the last 4 years. That is, if I would place this over here, then it says that from 2016, 17, 18, and 19 across these 4 years, what has been the sales for furniture, what has been the total sales for office, what has been the total sales for technology each year. This is what this table is showing. Now let me do one thing. Now when I remove the order date, I see that this is the total sales of the furniture in the 4 years. This is the total sales of office supplies in the 4 years. This is the total sales of technology in the 4 years. But if I would like to see the each individual sale value, like if I would like to see that what had been the sales individually for each category, like supposedly the products were sold each year for 365 days. So each day, what was the sales? I would like to know that. So for that, what we'll be doing is we'll go to analysis, and over here by default these continuous variables are coming aggregated. When I remove this, then I get the individual values. So what these individual value tell me, that across the last 4 years, across the 4 years, across the months, across the weeks and dates, each day what has been the sales for furniture. These are the each day sales. Each day what has been the sales for office supplies, each day sales. Each day what has been the sales for the technology. So they are giving me daily sales. Now out of these sales, if I would like to find the maximum sale, means which one was the value which was the maximum, when was the maximum sale happened,